This is Lagoon Radio.
Good morning, good Wednesday morning, and welcome to the newspaper review on Lagoon Radio, broadcasting live to you from Marina, Lagos. Today, newspaper review, it's going to be an entirely new story, and I think every day of the week, there's one new thing coming up in country Nigeria, and a lot of interesting things as well, and a lot of things to discuss. My name is Olabisi Simidele Oke, and I'll be your host for today. And I have with me my co-host, Taiwo Adeola Shabiole. Yeah. Good morning, Shab.
Hello, good morning.
The way Taiwo said that hello, like hello, good morning.
I don't know, since yesterday, Simi has been so concerned about she has been so particular about my voice. You love it?
Yeah, kinda. In one way, kind of. I just kind of love it.
It puts you, let me say that word.
It's giving me some vibes, that vibes.
Is that how I actually sound? Stop.
That's actually the way you sound.
Are you serious? Good morning once again. How was your night?
My night was okay. It was good. I almost overslept, really, but thank God.
I actually did. Don't lie to you. I did. The weather is so cool.
Yeah, and I think let's just enjoy the weather, like really, because before you know it, another season will start creeping in, and that heat, it will not be here. And you keep questioning, please, who entered hellfire last? I forgot to shut the door. Okay, we have quite a number of papers here, and I'll be starting with the authority papers, and the major headline for the authority papers, it's on 2023, and over the months the most popular headline has been on 2023, followed by fuel scarcity, subsidy removal, and all that. So this one is on 2023 presidential elections, and it says a gale of resignations trail APC's Muslim ticket. We have some riders to that. Toyin Prince will Ajobena Okonkwo quit party, and as at yesterday we read that Okonkwo quit. He actually called it quits with the All Progressive Congress, stating his reason for the Muslim ticket. Then another writer says Northern APC group reject decision, and Senator Abodom's Tinubu support organization. And you can get the full details on page 2 of the authority papers. And this is on page 3, Lagos cleric to Tinubu, comparing yourself to Abiola is insulting. That's on page 3. And still on page 3, I have 2 other stories. FIRS goes after tax defaulters as VAIDS amnesty period ends. Still on page 3, this on insecurity. Olumakaiye expresses concerns over credible 2023 polls. On to page 4, young Enugu girl supports Peter Obi with our savings. Then moving on to page 5, still on 2023, Jonathan aloof to PDP because of 2015 betrayers, says Clark. And on to page 6, Nollywood actress Funke Akindele puts career on hold, takes PDP Lagos deputy governorship. And I think that happened yesterday.
I saw the video.
It's been trending. I saw the pictures, the news and all that, and it's been trending. And according to the news this morning, a reason for that was because of the women, the youth, and the children, so that they can have a better deal with the Lagos state government.
Some people have the opinion that she does not know what next for her. The fact that marriage is on the edge, or in fact,
is on the line. Basically.
She lost the marriage already.
Yeah.
But then, people would always have a reason to counter your decision, especially when it comes to your political career.
Exactly. So I think a decision is best. The reason for a decision is best known to her, and it is choice. Okay, on to page 9. EU freezes Russian assets worth $13.8 billion. And lastly, on the authority papers on page 10, Ebonyi local government poll, 39 aspirants battle for APC tickets for 13 local government areas.
All right, I'll be taking this Nigeria. On the very front page, the major story, Oshunguba election, the battle line. Tinubu aids PDP and Labour Party at APC rally. PDP will triumph. That's coming from PDP, yes. INEC relocates polling units from controversial centers. IGP deploys 21,000 policemen to maintain law and order. This is on page 2 of this Nigerian newspaper. United Nations world population to hit 8 billion on November 15. The writer under that says Nigeria, 7 others to make up half of increase by 2050. You can read up on pages 4 and pages 21 of this Nigerian newspaper. Moving on to page 10 of the paper, we can see audit report explain 5.7 billion naira donor funds mismanagement. Senate tells Health Ministry. You want to find out more on page 10. And on page 13, we can see 2023 election may not be credible, says Falaye. All right, still on the Lagos PDP, Guba Funke Akindele pairs with Adediran suspend career. That's on page 28 of the paper. And on the front page, we can see a picture. When you grab a copy, you can get more details of that.
All right, moving on to Al Jazeera midweek. 41.6 trillion naira debt. Federal government fails to disclose IDA rule, says World Bank. That's on page 11. And still on page 11, Tinubu's running mate, Borno Khan chairman, denies endorsing Shettima. And moving on to page 14, contributes to tax development. NAMI charges stakeholders. And Northern Coalition fought Osinbajo over proposed sale of power plants.
How do you think the name look alike? Osinbajo.
Yeah, really. So that's on page 11. Let me flip back to page 8. This is the major story on the inside of the Al Jazeera midweek on insecurity. 2023 elections under threat, says Nigeria needs president that understands our multi-ethnic religious nature, decries politicians' tribalistic self-inclination. This is all from Olumakaiye, and you can get the full details on page 8 of Al Jazeera midweek. On to page 10, $15.9 billion Eurobonds debt. MPC worries over rise in figures. I bet when are they see all this money?
See me, I should be asking you.
Like as I'm calling it big money, my chest is just...
Thank God I'm not the one taking this morning.
Oh my God. Okay, moving on to page 22. Queues persist as pump price hits 250 naira per litre in Abuja, others. And as at yesterday, some filling stations here in Lagos Island sold for 200 naira. Because on my way home, there was no queue. They were selling their fuel at 200 naira. And that brought me to one of the headlines we read a few weeks ago, that the marketers were lamenting that the cost price for fuel was 178 naira per litre. So it cannot be sold less than 180 naira. When the federal government insisted, they still keep selling at 165. I remember we discussed that.
Wait, where are they going to? I mean, what's the gain?
Where would they see the 13 naira profit, like the 13 naira loss now? Which account would they record it? So I remember then I commented that it doesn't add up at all. How can you buy something for 178 naira and you sell at 165 naira?
I mean, that's not a good business at all. In fact, you're doing a promo or a dash. Even
if you're doing a promo, the people that do sales and slash,
of course, they still have
some profits.
How many percentage to gain from whatever they are selling.
Yeah, that's it. So as it is now, the reality has actually started setting in. So fuel price is now 250 naira per liter, while black marketers do 350 naira per liter.
And it's affecting a whole lot. This morning, I didn't tell you when I came in, all the way from Costain, 500 naira to CMS. Like, what the heck?
And they're still hiking.
No way. And people refuse to. But I tell you, if this rain starts to fall, they will take this bus for 1,000 naira. And
Sure.
then I was just so lucky to get a one that is not up to that amount. And it's really affecting us. So if you say it's not affecting you, it's affecting you directly or indirectly, because we all are in this together. So open your eyes and do the needful.
Come 2023.
Come 2023, yes.
All right, and lastly on Al Jazeera Midweek, ex-Rivers Gilbert candidate Prince Will dumps APC, citing single faith presidency. That's on page 24 of the Al Jazeera Midweek.
All right, moving on to the Guardian newspaper, something different, I guess. ADC presidential candidate Kachiku, sorry about that, Kachiku tasked citizens to arise, rescue Nigeria over insecurity and economic woes. Oloja Williams, Adekunle Olumide, others for 2022 World PR Day event in Lagos. That's on page 4. Hobbies emergence will not stop Biafra agitations, says Masob. That's on page 7. Anglican Bishop says federal government not honest in tackling insecurity. I think that's on page 20 of the Guardian newspaper. Travel has grown as summer fare spiked 200%. 1 million naira per economy seat. See me, I used to traveling.
Pardon?
Economy, so you can tell. You don't even want to go near the business class or the first class.
No, basically during this period,
200%.
It's always expensive. Like flight tickets are always expensive this period.
By 200%.
Not really by 200%, but at least it's always more expensive during summer.
Oh, this is more you. See me, please travel. Please, I'm begging you.
Please open a GoFundMe account for me.
I need help more than you do, please. The right out to that one. Yes. I'm very serious right now. No, my destiny helper, where are you hiding? Please come out, show face.
What are you waiting for? Show your face.
The right out to that one says foreign airlines ditch lowest fares, adjust exchange rate to hedge devaluation shocks. Average travelers lament weak naira to dollar rate. Fares demand still resilient, top travel agency says. Well, that story is on the front page and you can continue reading on page 6. Much of things resigns in protest over APC's Muslim tickets. That's also on page 6. I was a victim of child trafficking, says Mofara. That's on page 31. Wow. And of course, we can see the picture of President Muhammadu Buhari and some other dignitaries on the front page of the paper. I think that's much I can take on The Guardian.
All right, I'll be taking the national economy. Federal government begins full-scale enforcement on defaulters of voluntary asset and income declaration scheme. As the federal government has said, it will soon commence a full-scale enforcement of the provision of voluntary asset and income declaration scheme against defaulting taxpayers under the scheme. So you can continue reading on page 4 of the national economy. Still on page 4. Manufacturers intensify harnessing raw materials locally as forest crunch worsens as prices of imported raw materials now unbearable. On page 5, France-Nigeria Business Council, Buhari congratulates Rabiu on reappointment as Group 6 protection of electricity consumers' right, clamoring for restructuring of discourse. Lastly, on the national economy, SEC 6 stakeholders cooperation to bridge infrastructural gap. That'll be all for the national economy.
On this day newspaper, CBN seeks proper disclosure, fraud prevention mechanism on digital financial services. That's on page 40. Heathrow asks airlines to stop selling summer tickets, limits daily passengers to 100,000. That's also on page 40. Oshun 2022, INEC reassures voters they will decide next governor. Still on page 40. There's a lot to read on page 40. And then we can see a write-up on the front page there, ex-SGF to APC. It says, now tell me, which Christian will vote for APC with the following contraption? Muslim presidential candidate, Lagos. Muslim vice presidential candidate, Borno. Muslim national chairman, Nasarawa. Muslim Deputy National Chairman Borno, Muslim President Castina, Muslim Senate President Yobe, Muslim Speaker Lagos, Muslim Deputy Speaker Plateau, etc. APC the Great. Una they try wo. I'm sure now something okay. Una they try wo. Okay, so that's that. That's from ex-SGF to APC. Lawal Tinubu is cornered. Is taking sides against Christians. To your tent, O Israel. This is an interesting one you might want to check out on the inside of this day newspaper. And the writer says, once the gods want to destroy ex-Lagos governor ruling party, urges Buhari to invoke his powers to revoke vice presidential nomination. Says ex-Borno governor is overambitious. Shetima complicit in Chibok girls' abduction, terrorism, say northern Christian leaders. Amechi Ishali, Prince Will quits ruling party on same ground. All of these you can read on page 40, as there is a lot to read there. That's all on the Disney newspaper.
Okay, on to the New Telegraph. The major story, how Tambuwal betrayed me, Bajabiamila says he rejected Dogara as deputy. That's on page 2 of the New Telegraph papers. PMS crisis, 15 vessels arrive ports with 42.9 billion naira worth of projects. That's on page 5 of the New Telegraph papers. And this is on page 2 and page 3. Health Ministry mismanaged 5.7 billion naira, says Senate. And I think that there is, from the onset, like there has been a lot of mismanagement in the country from different sectors. Okay, page 6, court killings, Ogun slipping into killing field. Youth tells Abiodun. And this is still from ASU strike. President's enough is enough. Wishful thinking, says ASU, and says comment won't resolve varsity's decadence. And I think I actually support that as well. Comments won't actually resolve all these things. Actions is all they want. And according to what we said yesterday,
give them two options.
Give them two conditions, and everything lies in the hands of the federal government. I saw this yesterday. Kujeb attack. I called it prison break, and I read it yesterday night. Osinashi's husband still in custody, and I read it yesterday that he actually absconded during the prison break. Like, he was one of the inmates that ran away. So, but now. The prison officers are actually coming out to say he is still in custody. You can continue reading that on page 5 of the New Telegraph papers. Still on New Telegraph papers, AGF position, federal government shortlists 14 directors. And the major, another story on New Telegraph papers, Muslim candidacy. I think this is actually making the headline on most of our papers today. We can't campaign to our northern members, APC Christian leader says. And says same faith ticket violates party's constitution. Duo won't enjoy our support, Plateau can, says, as ex-Rivers Governor Guba candidate Prince Will dumps APC party. And lastly, on New Telegraph papers, this is according to study, skipping extra salt on food could boost longevity. So that means basically if you do not add more salt to your food, it will boost longevity medically. Like seriously. So that'll be all for the New Telegraph papers.
All right, I think this is going to be about the last one. Something different on Daily Trust. Inflation, epileptic power, cost of diesel erode gains of doing business. That's on the inside. Nigeria records 7 million new broadband subscribers in 7 months. That's on page 21. Bandits attack Salah celebrants, kill one, abduct two in Katsina State. And the major headline that really caught my attention, how Nigeria borrowed 225 trillion naira in 20 years. Country earned 114 trillion naira same period. Oil producing states raked in 9.67 trillion naira special revenue. Trend worrisome, says experts. All of this you can read on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Salah and Saru preaches rebellion against government in Kaduna. That's on page 1. How we buy goods with fake bank alerts, says suspects. That's on page 17. This is a criminal act. So people do that a lot, and they tell you, "I've sent the money." They know how to send fake alerts.
And that's why I don't blame.
I know of someone.
And that's why I don't blame all those business people. When you go to buy something from them, they tell you, "I don't want transfer. Just let's do POS or you pay cash." I don't blame them.
I don't blame them at all. 2023 Afenifere leader Adebanjo insists on Igbo presidency. That's on page 6. Man kills, sells body parts of 71-year-old woman in Ogun State. That's on page 14, 16. Yeah, it's on the inside of the Daily Trust. And of course, you can see a chart of the Nigerian borrowing in and out 225 trillion naira in 20 years on the front page of the Daily Trust.
Is the borrowing for all right. I saw something new on the Nigerian Tribune, and let me just quickly take that. And it is still on the ASU strike, as ASU tells Buhari that action and not lamentation will end our strike. That's on page 4. And there was fire outbreak at Bodija Market in Ibadan, and fire services has come out to say that stored petrol aided the spread of fire at the market. And this is from NEPSA. NEPSA secures $100 million investment for Lekki Special Medical and Farms Free Zone. And lastly, on the Nigerian Tribune, I have what population to eat 8 billion on November 15. This is coming from the United Nations. All right, thank you so much for joining us today on the newspaper review. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter at LagoonRadio.Ng, and our YouTube channel on LagoonTV if you need to catch up with this particular show or any of our subsequent shows. Do have a nice and blessed morning. I still remain Olabisi Simidele. Okay.
And I'm Taiwo Adeola Shabilegbe. Good morning and have a lovely day.